It's the night shift. Hello. Who's going to join me tonight? Are you feeling the excitement? 10 days out, starting tomorrow. And I don't really have any agenda tonight other than talking about the excitement, which shall be the next couple weeks. And maybe elaborating on some of the past videos when my mic wasn't working. So it is Friday night, about 6:45 Friday evening here, and some of you may have seen what was actually a repost of the Kamala song. And there's a lot of songs like that many of you have not heard, because even 6 months ago, this channel was a lot smaller and pretty much only music focused, and you just haven't heard the songs unless you went through the playlist. So I have a lot more patriotic tunes to share with you all, and some satire, funny ones as well, I guess, if you want to call them funny. Maybe we should just call them real. But so I decided today that over the next 10 days, I'm going to reshare a lot of those songs that many of you haven't heard, while continuing with the Pastor Bob Joyce insights and following up on some of the decode gene segments as they were, because a lot of you have had questions about what exactly Gene is saying in his mysterious cryptic videos. And hi, Irma. And what he means, what do the numbers mean? And so I probably should have elaborated better from my experience on the numbers in gematria, because even though I look into it sometimes, really what I've learned from my own experience, which could be different from yours, but there's a lot of vagueness from the numbers because they can actually mean a lot of different things in gematria. So I personally don't focus on that too much. I focus on just real events and my intuition and visual stuff and body language reading people's tone of voice, and like I said, just actual real things that we know are real. And that's how I usually connect the dots. Some people are really into gematria and all of the number code stuff, but I'm not really. I like the numbers when they're symbolic of something, but not so much into the gematria. Hi, Kitty. Hi there. So great. Pastor Bob will be proud of you. Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mean, Pastor Bob is quite the endless, interesting topic because not just because of the connection we believe with EP, very strong connection, but just how he's keeping us focused on God during these times and kind of giving us that grounding to what's really important. And then there's all the mystery connected with him and Gene and George Magazine and et cetera, et cetera. It's just really interesting. So it's quite a unique time that we're going through. And while we're waiting for the world to change. And so, Pastor Bob, for me, along with lots of these other topics, is kind of just like a vehicle to talk about different things and to connect us, inspire us, give us hope for the future and how things should be, not just how we want them to be, but and a big part of that is I think Pastor Bob just reminds us that each of us have the power of the Holy Spirit and God working through us. And so, like I talk about often, focus on the things we have control over in our own lives because we can't control the world. We can't control even the good leaders or the bad. But there's lots of things we can control that God allows us to. And it makes a huge difference. And even the mindset makes a huge difference. If you're going through life more grateful and looking for the silver lining, sorry if you didn't hear that. If you're going through life grateful, looking for the silver lining, looking for lessons learned out of the hard times, compared to the glasses half empty mindset and always worrying about tomorrow, always letting people, events get to us. And yeah, it's just endless. It could be endless for your good or for your bad. And so much of it is in your mind. And thank you, Kitty. I appreciate that. And yeah, since you mentioned it, my experience as a Marine, I learned so many lessons, many the hard way, like most Marines do, because training can be tough and traveling to different places, being thrown in many circumstances that you're not comfortable with, and learning how to deal with it. Those are very challenging and kind of the same thing. You either learn from it and grow, or you don't, and you just let it get to you. And so many of those experiences, I figured out how to use them for good for myself, not just for military life, but how could I use those in my personal life? So I found ways to apply lots of those really hard lessons as a business owner, musician, content creator, many things, even investing and researching. And I could just go on because I do have lots of interests and things I've worked on. But so much of it is in our minds today. And you can see that by those who are kind of already losing their minds before this thing in November, and those who are, I don't want to say coming out on top, but just pressing forward. And like, even if things go, I don't believe this is going to happen, but even if things went horribly the next 3 months, there is no quitting for me. And you should all have the same mindset. Like, we are going to keep pressing on into the night. And if we go down doing the best we can and living what we know our purpose is and all that good stuff. So there is no quit for me. I've been at that point in life where I kind of felt like things couldn't get much worse. And I've been in that place for months. And it was really horrible. But the good part is, if you're already at the bottom, the only way is up. But again, it's the mindset. If you can make yourself have that mindset when things are bad, then when things are good, you're going to be on top of the world. So you just have to remember that. Thank you, Irma. I'm glad you guys are loving the videos and updates. And I appreciate the prayers. Hi, Teresa. It's a little trafficy at the moment, trying to cross the road here. Okay. So back to, what was I talking about before that? Walking with God, and I see that in you. You're a wonderful example for the people to watch. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. When I first started the social media focusing on music, the music was always meant to be the means to inspire and bless and basically speak through music, because I wasn't really comfortable doing the lives and the whole extroverted thing, because as an INFJ, primarily introvert, that is not a world that I was comfortable living in on a daily basis. But as I've said in videos before, it's just practice, really. And not just practice, but practice pushing myself out of the comfort zone. And I also had to convince myself of why I wanted to do it. And not just that, but really finding the reason why. And most of the time I was doing instrumental songs, which are great. And I've been basing the instrumentals off of a Bible verse or a couple verses as inspiration. And that's great. But I would get asked from time to time, like 𝐼'𝐸𝐴 has here, that I'd like to hear you sing more or do more vocal songs, which those are more time consuming and take a little bit more work. So there's that side of it. But what I'm trying to say is that there's many great things about music, just instrumental music, that you can do to inspire people. But I realized that what convinced myself to work on being more extrovert and communicating verbally was because that's the only way you can say a lot of things and connect with people more. And like what I'm saying, sharing my past experiences. Some people have suggested that I write a book, but I've never really been interested in writing a book. Maybe at some point when I get myself organized to do that. But I just really enjoy doing music and the videos of different kinds. And so you might say that instead of a book, I've been creating a video book, as it were. And it's not quite as organized, but I do believe that God brings people into our path that are meant to be there. So I can kind of trust God to do the work. And if anybody is meant to hear what I'm trying to share and pass on to somebody, that they're going to find the channel. And so as of right now, that's kind of the plan. But I do like trying different things. So who knows? Maybe someday a book, more than likely an audiobook. Oh, thank you, Teresa. Kitty, you liked How Great Thou Art. I'm glad to hear that. That was a fun song. Oh, Kitty, you play also? Do you play piano? Yeah, that's a good point too, that music is a fantastic outlet for anybody, but especially for introverts, because we don't have to talk. And I do tend to communicate myself better in both text and music and video. So music is wonderful for that. Thank you, 𝐼'𝐴. I'm glad you're loving all the music. You have been one of my first and best supporters, so I appreciate you. Oh, Kitty, you've been playing for years. Awesome. Yeah, I've learned a handful of instruments and got to play in a lot of different bands and lead a lot of different bands in the Marine Corps. But piano is still my number one, with, I guess, the drums being second. Drums are also a lot of fun, and it's just a unique instrument as well. So anyway, I guess I'll wrap it up. Thank you all for watching and joining in the live. And I'll see you all again soon. Oh, and always, like I said before too, the only place I'm really trying to keep up with the comments is from the live streams, because with the other videos, it's just impossible. So I am improving this process as I go. And I think that's a keeper, that I'll just focus on the comments in the live stream. That way, if any of you have questions or anything, I can get back to you, hopefully within at least a couple days. Oh, saxophone too. Yeah, I played saxophone in high school, and I still have a tenor sax. I haven't touched it very much, but awesome. High school and college. Okay, well, thank you all again. I'm going to go eat something and continue the night. Maybe I'll be back later for a second night shift, but no guarantees. Not too sure about that, but it is Friday, so kind of just going with the flow. All right, have a good night. Take care. I'll see you soon.